Welcome to the Hollywood Raw podcast. It is time for your weekend Raw rundown. We're going to get right into it. We have a special guest this week. Not only do I have Adam here, but I also have Dana Wilkey. You know her, well, obviously everyone does, from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but she's also got a huge podcast that we were recently guests on called Dishing Drama with Dana Wilkey. And then she also has her own YouTube program called Decadish Dana. Am I saying this right?
Decadish Dana.
Okay,
Yeah,
I just want to make sure I'm saying it. So she's going to join us today as we do our Raw rundown, and we're going to jump right into this. Make sure you are subscribed. You like our videos so we can bring all the daily entertainment content to you. But let's get caught up right now. All right, let's jump in. Number 10. Nene Leakes is suing Bravo for racism. If you guys did not see the story, she basically filed a suit on Wednesday claiming the show was a racist and hostile environment and that she was complaining about it for years. She complained about her co-star Kim Zolciak, and because of the complaints, she ended up getting fired. Dana, you are the perfect person to have on. You have already worked for Bravo. You know the ins and outs. Your thoughts on this lawsuit?
Well, it's weird, right? Because she's suing Andy Cohen as executive producer and she's suing Bravo. She did not include Kim in the lawsuit, which I thought was kind of unusual since it's Kim on the show that she's saying is doing all these awful things. Mm-hmm. She basically said, well, what it alludes to in the lawsuit is the allegation is that Kim uses the N-word, that she's calls people's homes ghetto, that she's some other stuff, right?
Okay, screw all that. I want to know, what do you think? Do you think Bravo, the network as a whole, is racist?
Well, I think what do you break that down into? I think Nene obviously feels that they were and has felt that they were for a long time because she's talked about it. She even believes that people were, at one point she was saying that she thought she was being threatened for bringing this lawsuit. That was definitely out in gossip land. I can't comment because I never experienced racism on my show because my show wouldn't, right? Yeah. Because until Garcelle, there was no one that would have experienced that, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I don't know what to say on this. I can tell you this. There have been other allegations made unrelated to racism, but poor conduct in protecting cast members on other shows against Bravo and Evolution and all this. So I would say that, maybe what Bravo didn't do is protect their cast members better and be more aware of what, hearing someone, maybe be more woke, let's say. But I mean, I guess we have to see all the evidence, right? I don't know.
Yeah. Adam, you've interviewed every Bravo star under the sun. Have you heard more about this, or have you kind of heard leakings or talked to people about this kind of stuff?
I mean, we've talked to other housewives, and some have, said, yeah, there should be more diversity on the show. I'm just curious how this ends. Does this actually go to court? Do they settle before court? Because sometimes you hear about these court cases, but they never really
go anywhere.
So it's like, are they just going to basically give Nene money just to pay her to, hey, here's, a couple $100,000, just, it's over, we'll do better, and just settle? Like, is it actually going to go to court? That's my curiosity.
I don't know. And I don't know what her ultimate goal to have the network change. Is it to have just people aware of the situation? Is it the payout? I don't know what ultimately she personally wants, but I hope she gets whatever that is, honestly. And if it is for the network just to be held accountable for their actions, then by all means. All right, let's move on to
really quick, I want to say she supported Black Lives Matters, and that's why she feels that she was booted off the show. That's her legitimate feeling about it. Now we'll have to see, as you guys said. So I think this is more less about money for Nene. And I met Nene a few times, and I don't think she'd be about the money. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
Fair enough. No, fair enough. All right. Number 9, Sophia Richie is engaged. Guys, I didn't even know she was dating someone. I feel like I haven't followed, Sophia Richie's life since she was dating Scott Disick. And so this came out of left field for me. She's engaged to a guy named Elliot Grange. His father is the CEO of Universal Music Group. They've apparently been living together, but I just started laughing because I'm like, poor Scott Disick, who literally all of his exes are getting engaged this year. It's got to be weird for him.
But it's also amazing that Sophia Richie somehow is, in my opinion, kept her name relatively in the news, because her photos still are purchased or are still on Daily Mail every day. They're on Us Weekly. Like, there's still some interest in Sophia Richie, but we never hear her talk. We never really hear her side. But you're right. I mean, Scott Disick, how does he feel? 2 of his exes now have got engaged within the past 6 months. It's pretty wild.
Well, Scott did a post mirroring exactly what you guys are saying now on his social media. And he wrote, like, in his caption, "I'm like officially the good luck Chuck," which was a movie.
But like,
where the guy, everybody he dated ended up getting married or falling in love with their true love after him, and he could never find it himself. So there you have it. But a weird choice for her. Did you guys think that?
Yes and no. I mean, listen, you see who the guy's dad is. It's like, we know her because of her dad. It's just like Hollywood royalty. I mean, this is basically how I feel like her story was supposed to come to an end. Like, yeah, she's supposed to marry. She was going to marry, some guy who's working on a construction site. She was going to end up with someone who came from some royalty or some sort of money.
Yeah, but he still has to be good looking. I mean,
yeah, that's a different story. Yeah,
I don't know. You're not really having sex with the dad,
funny,
right?
Just he's saying. Hilarious. I love it. All right, number 8, Vin Diesel announcing the title of the final Fast and Furious movie, which, what are they on, like number 47 at this point?
Yeah.
They named it Fast X. Any thoughts on that?
No, 0 thoughts for me on that.
Yeah, I feel like they just saved money on like the ink for like the posters. They're like, listen, it's cost us a lot of money for the posters. We don't need some really long and Tokyo drift, like some, the less words, the less letters, the better. So they saved money. But
no, they're like, let's just go take his XXX movie posters and just Photoshop off a couple X's and we're good to go. You same
he
actor,
loves X's,
same
guys.
crap. Yeah. But people were going nuts. Did you see all the people making fun of it? Like, if you went through Twitter, everyone was making fun of it, tying it to X-Men, tying it to XXX, tying it to like X-Lax, like everything.
I get it. It's funny. I mean, but at what Fast and Furious did you sort of slow down and stop watching?
Oh, dude, I was out after like 2 or 3. I mean,
yeah,
you can only do
I'm
so
not
many
the demo for that film.
Demo. Oh man, a bunch of people who drink Mountain Dew. I don't know. Like, it's just it's crazy. I mean, props to them for that franchise, for not to be in a comic book type movie, but to just keep going and going. Listen, I'm not mad at Vin Diesel. I respect him.
He's a sweetie. I love Vin Diesel.
Yeah,
I worked on one of his movies. He's very nice, very talented guy. And he's a marketing genius. Let's face it. Hot chicks, fast cars, not a lot of, short attention span content. Love it.
Yeah.
Sell it every time.
I mean, the amount of money that man has made off these movies is out of control. All right, coming in at number 7, the movie Rust that Alec Baldwin fatally shot and killed the cinematographer on is now getting hit with major fines. A New Mexico Occupational Health and Safety Bureau gave the movie a $136,000 fine to Rust Movie Productions. Basically, they did they dug into this to try to figure out what had happened. They said that there was numerous incidences where there were misfires on set. They did not take the proper precautions to then make sure the movie was safe. And so Alec is now feeling that this exonerates him. He put out a big old statement saying, "We're grateful to the New Mexico Occupational Health and Safety Bureau for investigating this." And now this basically exonerates him. Does this exonerate him, Dana?
Wow. Yeah, no, it doesn't exonerate him. It doesn't exonerate him because he's a producer on the film. He's not just an actor in the movie. Producers, by PGA rules, usually are in charge of everything from beginning to end and responsible for very important decisions on the production. You can't just back off from that. And this fine, in the words that they used, negligence, and I mean, it was willful negligence was used by OSHA. That's very willful. Yeah. I mean, this is inexcusable. Sorry. I think,
and I also go back to, there's a lot of actors who say they always double check to make sure they're not live rounds in their gun. Even when they're given a gun, they say, "Thank you, sir, for handing me a gun and telling me it's safe. I'm going to double check myself."
Oh, yeah. And they went on to say in the report that the AD did not take the time to even ask Hannah, who was the armorist, to come in and do her job on set. So he took over that responsibility and then didn't follow through with the proper procedure. And there were multiple incidences. They didn't have a procedure for making sure live rounds didn't get on the set, which is required. They didn't do the proper safety checks throughout the time. There were other reports by several crew members that there were bad use of guns, unsafe practices related to guns. I mean, I don't know what else to say. We've all worked on stuff. It's not normal. That's not typical, even in a low budget film. Sorry.
So this production aside, Adam, on a scale of 1 to 10, how big of an asshole is Alec Baldwin on the streets?
12. I mean, listen,
that's the question, really.
I agree with everything Dana said. The thing that just is so crazy to me, like, someone unfortunately lost her life, and there's a family there. And Alec Baldwin, no one asked for him to exonerate himself. Like, just stay quiet. Just don't talk about
it. He doesn't know how. He can't stop himself.
That's the craziest part. And I get it. Like, when you're drowning, you're treading for water. You're just trying to pull anything or pull anyone down with you. It's one of those things where it's such a bogus, stupid thing to say. Just shut the fuck up and just wait until everything comes out. Wait till we have every kind of detail of what happened on set. Like, it's so stupid for him to say anything. I think in anything, he put his foot in his mouth and this is what Alec Baldwin does.
Over and over and over again. Like, shut up, Alec Baldwin. All right. Speaking of a lot of talking, I don't know if you guys have been following the number 6 story, which is the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard defamation hearing that has been going on all week. It went on last week as well. But this week it got crazy because Johnny Depp hit the stand, and they have been playing voicemails, recordings, putting up text messages, showing diary entries. I mean, it is
not diarrhea.
Wild.
Poop in the sheets. It was
diarrhea on the dogs. I mean, Adam, what has been your reaction to this wild court case?
I would say the biggest reaction I have from it is how Johnny Depp is really putting himself all out there. How he's being so. A lot of stuff is embarrassing, but he's willing to put it all out there, saying he has nothing to hide. And I give him a lot of respect for that. I also respect when he's sitting, when he's talking to the lawyers, like when he's being, he's in the court case, like how calm he is during all this, but also how much he's, we're seeing a different side of Johnny Depp. Like he was always mysterious, but when you're in a courtroom, you can't really be mysterious. You have to be like,
especially when they're talking about, you're listening to audio of him saying, I'm going to cut myself. And Amber's like, no, don't cut yourself. I mean, they were fucking weird. Like, let's just be honest. Like, let's be 100% here. They were fucking weird together. So, and you're getting to hear all of the nitty gritty details. Dana, your thoughts on it? Have you been watching any of this?
Oh, yeah. I have a weird theory about this. After listening to all the testimony by the medical professionals and less from Johnny and Amber, because I don't know, I don't get them at all, like you're saying. I just wanted to hear what outsiders were saying about it. And for me, I feel like this might be a cry for help by Johnny Depp. This is my weird theory. I feel like Johnny Depp took this libel case, is going to completely, he's already kind of humiliated himself in terms of like his drug use, which seems like, 6 different things and constant, and his mental breakdowns, which is terrible. And then Amber's seems like, she's also a victim, but she's also, not a victim in some ways. And like, it's just, to me, why would Johnny Depp put this out in the public eye? And I feel like, could it be because he did say in one text message to a doctor that he felt like he had no friends, like no real friends. So like, I wonder, is this him saying, okay, everybody, like I have all these drug issues and I've struggled with all these problems and I need some help, instead of, really what this case is about, which is whether or not she alluded to using, talking to him in an abuse thing in a Washington Post article. She didn't use his name, but used his time frame.
Yeah. I think this is about just him clearing up his reputation. I think it has nothing to do with that particular article. I think he wants to now be looked at as a good guy because she made him look like such a bad guy. That's my opinion. But I will tell you, people, if you want more of this, because obviously this is just the raw rundown, we have been talking all week to our friend Danny, who runs the Tipsy Until Innocent podcast. She was actually in court the last 2 weeks, sitting there watching this all go down in person. She's been giving us play-by-play of what it was like, how Johnny's appearance was, how his demeanor is, how Amber's been acting, all from a first-person perspective. So we've uploaded those onto our podcast stream. If you want to check them out, they basically just say Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, and go check them out. But they're 45 minutes talking to people that are very, very invested in this case. If you just want more Johnny and more Amber. All right. Number 5.
Wait, one thing I have to say on that really quick. How could you say really quickly, how could you say this is to make him look good? Like, what have you heard?
Well, I think this is to make
or
him
even how he looks like.
I think it's to make him not look like he is the abuser, because that's what was put out there, and I think that's what he wants. I don't think he cares. He's like, I'm an addict. I've had a lot of shit go on in my life. I just don't want the public to then crucify me and say I'm a woman beater if that's not the case. So I think that's what all he's there is to try to prove. He doesn't need the money from this. He doesn't need that. He just wants to make her look bad is really what I think it comes down to.
I agree with you, Dex. Yeah, it's
Okay.
I think put himself all out there. He's willing to take some embarrassment because this is a very embarrassing story. With everything that goes with it. But yes, I agree with you. He's just trying to protect himself that he abuses women.
Yeah.
All right, number 5, Prince Harry did this exclusive interview with Hoda Kotb over during the Invictus Games. And I thought, I don't know if you guys watched it or not, I thought it was what he didn't say during this interview, which was the most powerful. Dana, I see you shaking your head. What do you agree with me there?
Yeah, totally. I agree. Although I was really shocked when he said that he felt like his home was Santa Barbara in the US.
Not the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that part was huge. I think that when Hoda asked him, do you miss your dad and your brother? And he dodged that fucking question faster than I've ever seen anyone dodge a question. He was like, well, I'm focused on the Invictus Games right now. And so that is where I'm like, wow. Like that, you can tell throughout this whole interview, there is still a lot of hurt and pain, not only from, I think, the citizens of the UK that kind of like turn their backs on him. I think his family members, but he was quick to basically shower his grandma with love. That he went out there, he had this like secret meeting with his grandma before her birthday just to, stop in. It sounds like it went great. They laughed together. So nothing but love for grandma, not so much for dad and brother though.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised, Dax, that we don't see, they live in Santa Barbara. And Dax, as your background, as someone who's seen a lot of photos from the photo desk with all the photo agencies, how are we not seeing more paparazzi photos of him?
Because they're on this massive estate, which they don't need to leave in the first place. There's not a lot of paps. Dan, have you seen, I don't feel like I ever see pap photos from Santa Barbara. It's just not a place where paps hang out, because you're not going to get people. Like, it's not like Oprah's leaving her Montecito estate very often to head into Santa Monica. You can be hidden up there very easily.
Yeah, the mansions, I should say, not the houses, the mansions in Montecito are ridiculous.
It's just
And they're on
acres and
lots of
acres.
land.
Yeah.
So it's like compounds. It's way better. Yeah. And you'd have to go and do that 2-hour drive. And as a pap, you'd probably want to stop on State Street and have drinks and have fun instead of go take photos.
Go to a winery. Yeah. I just, it's not the place. Like, Adam, how we always talk about when people bitch about being photographed by the paparazzi, and I think then go somewhere where the paparazzi aren't, so you're not bitching about it. Montecito is the place to go. That you will not get your photo taken up there because you're out of the hornet's nest. So that's why they go up there. All right, number 4, Thor, the Love and Thunder new trailer release. It's been 3 years since Chris Hemsworth has starred in his own movie, and so Chris Pratt's in it. And there is this huge scene at the end where Natalie Portman comes out as the mighty Thor, catches the hammer. Everyone goes absolutely nuts. Are you guys Marvel fans? Are you guys excited for this?
Dax, didn't we do a podcast this week that we went on and we knew nothing about this stuff?
No, Marvel. You know I do Marvel. On the other hand,
I love
speaking,
Marvel. I'm a big Marvel fan.
Are you a Marvel fan or a Chris Hemsworth fan, Dana?
No, I'm a Marvel fan, but also a Chris Hemsworth fan. But I wasn't happy with him fat on the last movie. And I didn't like that he lost his love, because they sold me so hard on that love story that when, they came up with that, whatever it was, like a quick, we're not going to have her in this movie thing, I was devastated. I was like, okay, I'm out. That really was like that. I didn't want to watch it.
Yeah, and I need to know where this lies in the Marvel universe timeline, because I was very confused. I haven't really dove into this one like I will do with other Marvel movies, but I'm like, he has his eyeball back. He's skinny. She's there. I'm like, wait, what the hell is happening? So I need to do a little more work to figure out where this is. But the one thing that made me really sad was I started Googling the name of the movie, and the biggest thing that popped up was the soundtrack that goes under. That means people didn't know that was a Guns N' Roses song.
Are you serious?
I swear to God, people, it literally said Love and Thunder song during trailer. And I'm like, oh God, how do people not know this song?
I'm gonna go cry after this show, you guys, because I'm realizing how old I am now.
We're all that old. All right, so number 3, Blac Chyna versus the Kardashians. This was another huge court case this week. This is that $100 million lawsuit. She says that the Kardashians, well, Kris Jenner mostly, got her show canceled, ruined her TV career, basically painted her out as a boyfriend beater. And so Blac Chyna was on the stand this week, and they were asking her questions, found out that she had wrapped the charging cable around Rob Kardashian's neck, pulled an unloaded gun and pointed at him, and all said it was just jokes. Have you guys followed this one at all?
It's crazy that she's like, in my opinion, again, this is not, again, I'm just thinking, it's crazy that how much attention Blac Chyna is trying to bring to this case. Like, she's being very seen, like she's going out, like it's funny. Like, I feel like in the past, since this case kind of has been going on, I feel like I've been seeing so many paparazzi videos and shots of her. We actually have a great video on our Instagram or TikTok of her at a Chipotle just getting a drink. I don't know. It's fascinating. We have,
this is Blac Chyna. This is normal. Like, she takes these opportunities and turns them into big media spectacles because, like she said, she's like, my TV career is ruined. How else are we going to be talking about Blac Chyna? You know what I'm saying? Dana, what are your thoughts on Blac Chyna? Have you ever ran into her out in LA or Beverly Hills or anything?
No, but I've studied her in great detail as I do on my gossip channel. I take it very seriously. And I, of course, listened to Tokyo Tony, her mom's interviews, which are epic. Just to say that. Oh, yeah. They're so good. Okay. What struck me is that the Kardashians legal team is definitely trying to put out there that, is this a trial for the purposes you're saying or a PR stunt? So they're already playing into that, with the jury people. They've been
Which
saying,
is funny because I would say the same about the Kardashians. Everything they do is a PR stunt and a reason to talk about on their show. So China was literally made from the same mold as them. So anyway, keep going.
Yeah, so they all went also to jury selection and all this stuff that, you really normally wouldn't go. So I have a feeling they're using it for a PR stunt also, as you're saying. What it really comes down to is she's saying, I was joking. We were partying. I mean, that's the key thing, right? Like LA partying, right? And I grabbed a cord and he was playing his video games and I went behind him and I was laughing. And I put the cord like, oh, get off. That's what she's saying. And she's saying that he always knew the gun wasn't loaded and he was playing with the gun when she took it over. And that's the picture she's painting. Bottom line, do I think that E canceled the show because the Kardashians asked them to? Yeah.
Because they were the moneymakers and they were pissed off at China and they said, get rid of her. It's either them or her or us. And E said, goodbye, China.
Exactly. I don't think that this comes down to them worried about filming, that they wouldn't film together or any of that. I think this was strictly a Kardashian.
And also, how fast do TV shows come and go in this industry? Like, you know what, China, if it wasn't Chris saying get this shit off the air, then it was going to potentially go away anyway after one season. So $100 million seems like a pretty hefty fine. All right, number two, this one's
about this is, when you're in a court case, you can't lie. You have to, and the lawyers will ask you some pretty tough questions. China revealed in court that she made about $2 million in 2020, 2019, 2018. And she makes most of her money on celebrity appearances. And that's some of her money. But the most of the money, I guess where most of the money comes in is from OnlyFans. So it's just interesting to see where the money is. But she has said that she said in court that she hasn't paid taxes in years. I just paid mine this week. I'm like, what? After all the work, you haven't paid taxes.
Why would you say that in a court of law?
So that's what Kim's lawyer, I'm sorry, not Kim, the Kardashians lawyer. The Kardashians lawyer asked Blac Chyna about this, and she said in her testimony that she admitted to not filing taxes since 2018, 2019.
So she's going to need this $100 million to pay off that tax debt because trust me, Uncle Sam's going to be like, let me take notes. Thank you for that receipt. Wow, that's crazy.
I can't get over it. It's nuts.
And the other thing that I thought was interesting during this court case was just finding out more about Rob. I mean, we all know that he's kind of been very reclusive over the years, but she painted him out to sound like crazy jealous, would steal her phone, lock himself in the closet, go through all her texts just to see if she was talking to other guys. So I got to imagine he is the one Kardashian that definitely doesn't want this court case to be going on because he's like, shit, all my private information is going to be out there. Number two, Queen Elizabeth turned 96 on Thursday. Well, that is today because we're taping on Thursday. But she turned 96, and I guess the palace told People magazine that the Queen is spending her birthday privately, probably because her whole family sucks.
Well, you know what the best part of the Queen turning 96 is?
What's that?
They made her into a Barbie. Yay!
Are you serious? I didn't see this. What did they do?
Yeah, I'm a Barbie collector. I know that's really lame. I get it, but I love it. And they just did this. It's already sold out. You can't even get one. So they came out with this Barbie to honor the Queen. She's like a hot Queen Barbie. And she's so cool, and it already sold out, and everyone bought them up already. And I have a feeling, I don't know. I just think this is going to be so huge. Now, maybe it wasn't directly related to her birthday. It could have been the Jubilee too, but you get the drift. Anyway, that was the highlight for me. Okay.
Adam, you have something you'd like to say to the Queen about her birthday?
I'm just curious what her normal day is like. Like, what does she eat? Does she watch TV? Like, what's the Queen's life like? I wish there was just, not a reality show, but more of like a documentary thing. I'm just so curious of what she does. Like, obviously her style is very unique. It's very, I guess, Queen-ish, very old
Queenish.
You should watch The Crown. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Great show.
Dax loves that show.
I love it. I'm a huge fan of the royals. I honestly am, and I joke when I say that her family's awful, but that show really paints people out to not be the greatest human beings on the planet and very self-centered and about themselves. And, and so that's why I joke, because I'm like, probably the one grandson she really wants to spend time with is now calling Santa Barbara home. Anyway, all right. And they did release a photo of her standing between two giant white horses. So if you want to check that out, that's
it was so epic, that picture. I do want to say something. Harry said something in that interview you brought up earlier that was really disturbing. He said that he really wants his kids to get to know the Queen.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that she's had very little interaction with them.
He's been like banned from that. I mean, they literally kicked him out. So
she doesn't know them.
He said, yeah, he basically, I don't think she had even met the younger one yet. Yeah.
That's devastating. Forget the horses. Like, you want to meet your grandkids, right?
Yeah. Brutal. It's just not a normal family. It's an organization. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's company royal.
I think this is the big reason that he pieced out, is he's like, this is not family. Like, family doesn't do this to each other. Family talks things out, and families has conversations, and we are an organization. And if I don't fit into the organization, or my wife doesn't, or my kids don't, or my kids are too brown for your liking, then we get kicked out. Like, it's so wild. Okay. Number one.
Very insightful.
Yeah. Number one, the biggest story of the week, A$AP Rocky arrested at LAX. And this is in connection with this 2001 incident. I guess there was a shooting that occurred around Hollywood at like 10:15 p.m. It started out as an argument between two acquaintances, as they say it. And now A$AP Rocky is accused of firing a handgun at another person who sustained a minor injury. And they got him at LAX when he was coming back from Barbados, cuffed him. Normally they'll give heads up. They did not in this situation. And we are being told, well, not we, but TMZ is being told that Rihanna was completely blindsided by this whole thing. All right. What do you guys think about the biggest story, Dana?
Wow, he's having a bad week. Okay, really, really bad week. First, the cheating rumor comes out with the Fenty shoe designer, Amina Muaddi, said by fashion influencer, self-proclaimed messy guy, Louis Pisano. That comes out supposedly untrue, but sends the internet, ablaze that he's a cheater and Rihanna and him are over. And then he goes on this romantic vacation and he comes back and he's arrested for being associated with a gun event that they're even alleging that he shot someone and hurt them.
Yeah.
So it's really serious. It's not just being around it. It's like involved with it. And he's got a new baby coming. Like, wow, it's a lot.
Yeah, no, it's pretty insane. It's an insane story. I mean, this is a very successful big time rapper with one of the biggest, a billionaire, Rihanna, and then he's being, they're investigating to see if he had anything to do with this. I think it's very interesting through this whole story that the LA police were able to keep this. They blindsided A$AP Rocky and Rihanna. Like, they were working on this for over a week, and there is a celebrity factor to this. Let's just say sometimes when stuff like this is going to happen, someone might speak up because they want to be the cool person. They want to be the person that helps someone out. That, hey, A$AP, just giving you a little heads up, the cops are going to, come and search your place. And nobody spoke up, so they was able to stay quiet. So they
said they wanted to see if they could get their hands on the gun. They think that the gun may have still been at his house. They didn't want it removed. They didn't even let Rihanna go in the house when she stopped by to pick up some stuff. They were like, nope, stay away. And
everyone just didn't say anything. The cops, who we know, leak stories from time to time. Someone will call a report.
You know that? That's tea right there.
Dax, I think
we know a little bit of everything.
Yeah. So, but they were able to not let that get out, giving them the heads up, because I know sometimes you want to be the cool cop, or someone wants to be the cool cop, or say, hey, I want to tip someone off to be in their good graces, but everyone stayed quiet just to blindside them to see if they were able to find the gun. We don't know what's going on yet. He was in He was arrested for. He was in pretty much cuffs. He was what's the word, Dak? He was in for about a few hours. He was.
Yeah, he posted bail like $550,000. He's out right now as they try to, move forward with this case. I think the LAPD said we're going to present this to the district attorney and go from there. So we'll see where this ends up. But yeah, I mean, between all this, all this news is going to put Rihanna into labor. I mean, she's almost there.
That's it. Thinking about Rihanna in all this, you guys.
This is not a fun time to have to deal with a bunch of drama with your boyfriend, because you should be focused on the life you're about to bring into this world. And yeah, all this stress can definitely trigger an early labor. But anyway, that is your top 10 rundown, your Raw rundown for the week. You are now caught up. You can go into the weekend feeling like you know all the good drama that happened in entertainment news. Dana, thank you so much for joining us. And if you want to check out a great podcast, head on over to Dishing Drama with Dana Wilkey, and definitely listen to our episode. We were slinging all kinds of fun tea with her. She's obviously got such a history in this entertainment industry with Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but we talked all about it. And we highly recommend you checking out that episode, and obviously heading over to her YouTube page, Decadish Dana. You can see, how do you explain that YouTube page to people that haven't checked it out, Dana?
Well, I do 10-minute gossip sessions, but I'm very informational. So I do, it's not like glossy, it's like deep. And then we speculate about it. And that's kind of my little niche. And I cover pretty much everything, whatever I want to.
Love it. Well, make sure you check that out, and you can follow her on social media. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave us a review on the podcast. That we tell you all the time, that is the biggest way to say thank you. And we appreciate it. And obviously during our interview episodes, we'll read out a little a review as our thank you to you guys. Thank you so much. Adam, where can they find you on social media, sir?
You can find me at Adam Glyn, Glyn. You can find Dax Holt at DaxHolt. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye, you guys.